And we have breaking news right now. Multiple reports are saying that Wagner boss Yevgeny Prigozhin is among 10 passengers in a plane that crashed. We are working to learn more about this. You'll remember that Prigozhin is the one who actually led the revolt against Vladimir Putin. He had been living in Belarus to hide out, or so to speak, or it was a deal that had been brokered between he and President Putin. Prigozhin had not been seen recently, and many have been wondering where he had been, he and those who have supported him. I'm going to turn now to one of our experts who has walked through this several times. General Richard Newton, I understand I have you on the phone.
You do. This is General Newton.
General Newton, good afternoon, sir. I'm sorry for the last-minute call, but we're learning this information, and I'd love for you to weigh in. We are hearing that Wagner boss Yevgeny Prigozhin was on the passenger list of a plane that crashed in Russia, and 10 people on board have been killed. We do believe he was on that plane, but we are still working to confirm that information. Can you talk to us about what this would mean and what you think may be happening?
Well, Nick, good afternoon. This is an extraordinary development, obviously. I'm also, having just got the word myself, I'm checking my sources and have not been able to confirm anything at all. But it's like I said, it's an extraordinary development, one that not necessarily we would expect or not expect from that standpoint, because the precarious situation, obviously, with Prigozhin and what transpired with the Wagner Group several weeks or so ago with regard to whatever we could characterize his revolt or a mutiny nonetheless. Obviously, there was a disconnect between Wagner, the group, but also more so Prigozhin and President Putin, which could lead to, some obviously nefarious events that could affect his, not only his well-being, but his status within Russia. But apparently, whether this is an accident or not, I don't know. But it does lead one to great suspicion, Nick, is my 2 cents right now.
And we do know that those who have gone up against Vladimir Putin have not fared well. We've seen evidence of that. One of the questions I have for you, General Newton, is I'm sure, like you just said, that you're checking your own sources because we have seen rumors of this in the past. How much of this should we believe?
Well, right now, General Colin Powell, when he was chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, you don't necessarily believe the first reports. And so I think what I would have the American people and our viewers just kind of take a breath right here and not jump to any conclusions. But there are a number of really paths that this story could go forward with. One is that it's an accident and it occurred. The other one, obviously, is that something that was afoot, certainly to, have Prigozhin leave the scene, if you will. He had a lot of enemies inside of Russia. He had a lot of enemies outside of Russia as well. So it wouldn't surprise me. And Nick, also, you and I have talked about this on air. Putin has a really, a very dangerous playbook, from the use of tactical nuclear weapons all the way to getting rid of his enemies and so forth. So none of this would surprise me right now, but I think we'll just have to wait for reports that verify that Prigozhin's demise is first and foremost it's true, but then secondly, how did this all happen?
And General Newton, if this is indeed proven to be true, what does this say once again about Vladimir Putin? What does this tell you? Because I have to believe this also helps to bolster what many have argued is Russia's failing to convince this Ukrainian invasion was indeed a success, that this could once again send a reminder to his enemies.
Yeah, I would agree with the intent of your question, Nick. First and foremost, he rules with an iron fist, no doubt about it. And if there's an encroachment on his power, such as a Prigozhin, who in broad daylight was driving north into Moscow with a contingent of Wagner forces, I mean, how more blatant could you be in terms of trying to, try to attack the power of Putin, number one. Secondly, things are not going well obviously in Ukraine for Russia, and you have to look at the beginning of whatever strategy or plan that Putin had, and then having used the resources of Prigozhin and the Wagner Group to try to stem the tide that was obviously is still going against Russia. That was unsuccessful also. And so there's lots of subplots to this, Nick, I guess is my point. But the bottom line is Putin only understands one thing, Nick, and that's power. Power both externally in terms of how Russia is able to again, exert its own security forces abroad, but also power inside of Russia itself.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.